Hello, thank you for joining Parkinson Voice Project for today's online Speak Out home practice session. My name is Samantha Allendary. I'm a speech language pathologist and the founder of Parkinson Voice Project. I'm here to help you establish and maintain a consistent Speak Out home practice routine. That is a mouthful. I have to say it with intent. Hopefully you've already logged on to the chat. If you've never used the chat, on the box where it says type in your nickname, just type in your first name and where you're from. I would put Samantha from Dallas. I'd really like for everybody to start logging on a couple minutes before the session starts so that you can say hi to your friends, even if you're not going to chat throughout the session. And I know that's challenging for a lot of people. I would rather you exercise your voices than worry about the chat, but I want you to open the chat so that you can see where everybody else is practicing from and so that you can see the really fun images that Sandy posts. It will make these sessions more interesting. Today's topic, back to school. Everybody say that with intent. Ready? Back to school. Again, with more intent. Back to school. And now let's smile just for a second or two. Give me your best smile. Okay, let's take a sip of water. Are your children going back to school? Perhaps it is your grandkids or your great-grandkids going back to school. In the U.S., I cannot believe how early school is starting. In Texas, the school started last week. At least in the Dallas area. When does school start for your kids or grandkids or great-grandkids? In Lebanon, where my husband is from, I don't think they start until September. All right, let's begin with the warm-up. Really lift your voice and project it forward. Here we go. May, me, my, mo, moo. Again. May, me, my, mo, moo. Really think about every syllable and exaggerate. Again. May, me, my, mo, moo. Again. May, me, my, mo, moo. And let's do it one more time. May, me, my, mo, moo. Okay, go ahead and take a sip of water. I want to let all of you know that I'm going on vacation next week. Can you believe it? I'm actually going to take some time off. My husband and I are going to go to Canada for all of the Canadians practicing with us. I don't want you to worry about your practice sessions for next week because I have recorded 5 sessions. Parkinson's doesn't take a break, so you can't take a break either from doing your speak out exercises. So we will still have these sessions live at the same time and then with the recordings. But I thought I would tell you that I'm going to Canada, going to Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, and Niagara Falls. Really looking forward to it. Let's move on to the next speak out exercise, the ahs. Deliberately open your mouth wide and project it forward. Ready? Ah. Try to keep the sound consistent all the way through. Ready? Ah. Good. Again. Ah. let's do a shorter one. And one more. Very nice. Let's take a sip of water with intent. Are you starting to incorporate intent into everything that you're doing? I hope so. We had a question come in about the automatic motor system and the intentional motor system. I'm going to do my best to answer that after we finish the counting. But first we need to do the glides. Project out a steady ah and then slowly glide up. Get all those little notes in there. Don't be jumping from ah. We don't want that. We want all the little notes. Ah. Ah. Good. Again. Good. Let's do it again. When you're gliding down, think of a slide or a roller coaster. It kind of accelerates as it's going down and it ends out here. Let's start high and go down. Again, start high. Very good. Let's take a sip of water with intent. Moving on to the counting. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Good. Really exaggerate. Think about every number with intent. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right, now we're going to go down. I hope that you're practicing on a device that's large enough. If your television set, if you can get the internet on your television set, you can put these sessions up there. Let's go down. 1, 5, 9, 13. 2, 6, 10, 14. Don't trail off. 3, 7, 11, 15. 4, 8, 12, 16. All right, we had a question come in. I want to read it, and then I'm going to explain it. It says, in one of your sessions, I understood you to say that speaking with intention enables one not to depend so much on the area of the brain where dopamine is produced. That is correct. Does this mean no dopamine is produced in the area where intent is used? No, that's not what I mean. Do I have the correct understanding that when we speak automatically, we use the area of the brain where dopamine is produced? No, let me explain this. I'm going to show you a diagram. All right. Humans have two motor systems. Okay, this is normal. Humans have two motor systems. We have the extrapyramidal system, which is on the left, and the pyramidal system on the right. The extrapyramidal is the automatic motor system. The one on the right is the intentional motor system. Look at the diagram on the left. You see all those green lines going down? These are neurons, impulses firing down. In the automatic motor system and the intentional motor system, the impulses start at the cortex and travel down to the brainstem. They both start and end at the same time, but it's how they reach their destination that makes them different. In the diagram on the left, in the automatic motor system, the impulses are firing down, and as they're traveling down, they're stopping to communicate to various structures within the brain, including the substantia nigra, where dopamine is produced. But by the time, and by the way, I looked up this statistic, by the time someone has been diagnosed with Parkinson's, the stat I found said 60 to 80% of the dopamine has been impaired. Okay, we have a loss of 60 to 80% of dopamine. So when the impulses are traveling down and they get to the substantia nigra where dopamine is supposed to be, the impulses are having trouble making it the rest of the way down in a smooth and coordinated way. Okay, so there's not enough dopamine. Think about somebody with Parkinson's who walks. Sometimes the walking doesn't look as smooth and coordinated as somebody without Parkinson's. It's because as the impulses were traveling down in the automatic motor system, when they get to the area where dopamine is supposed to be, they're having trouble making it the rest of the way down because there's not enough dopamine. I'm going to go full screen so you can see the intentional motor system. In the intentional motor system, the impulses travel straight down. You see those blue lines going straight down? The impulses travel straight down. They don't stop to communicate to various structures within the brain. They kind of bypass the area where dopamine is supposed to be. Since they bypass that area, they're not as dependent. The intentional motor system is not as dependent on dopamine. So even though people with Parkinson's have lost 60 to 80% of their dopamine producing cells, okay, the intentional motor system is not as dependent on dopamine, and that is why when you shift what you're doing from automatic to intentional, when you are deliberate, you focus more, you concentrate more, you're more purposeful, you are activating the intentional motor system. Humans normally go back and forth between the automatic and the intentional motor system throughout the day. Right now, I'm using my intentional motor system. This morning when I woke up in the morning and I said hi to my husband, I was using my automatic motor system. When I'm driving, I'm probably using my automatic motor system. If I get caught in a downpour and all of a sudden I put both hands on the wheel, I turn off my radio, I shifted from the automatic motor system to the intentional motor system. I want you, if you haven't yet, I want you to watch the video, What is Parkinson's? Sandy is going to post the link. I want you to watch that video, and I will explain in that video the automatic and the intentional motor system in more detail. It is so important that you understand it. All right, we've got to get to our reading. Thank you for that question, by the way. All right, today's topic, back to school. Let's read these sentences with intent. Really exaggerate the highlighted words. Ready? Kids are getting ready to go back to school. Say every single word with intent. Ready? Kids are getting ready to go back to school. They need new clothes and backpacks. Again, they need new clothes and backpacks. Ready? It is also time to buy school supplies. More intent. It is also time to buy school supplies. Ready? Students need pens, binders, and folders. Really say every word with intent. Ready? Students need pens, binders, and folders. I want you to answer this question with intent. What do you remember about the schools that you attended? Speak out. Say every word with intent. I grew up going to private Catholic high schools. I went to an elementary school, St. Anthony's in San Antonio. And then for high school, I went to an all-girls high school, Incarnate Word, which is in San Antonio also. Answer this question with intent. Which classes or subjects did you enjoy the most? Go ahead. Take a sip of water. I really enjoyed my English classes. Love reading Shakespeare. I was actually going to be an English teacher. That's what I went to college for at first. And then I needed a minor, so I took some classes in speech pathology. Since I was born with a cleft palate, I thought I'd learn more about it. And then I just loved it and went on and got my master's. Let's do Dr. Boone's words. Ready? Gula ganga ga. Again. Gula ganga ga. And next. Kuka manguka. Again. Kuka manguka. Really exaggerate. Get those G's, K's, and NG's. Ready? Gangla. Gangla. And next. Kukla. Kukla. Take a sip of water. We're going to do the bonus reading. Here's the bell. Quotes from Benjamin Franklin. Let's read this with intent and exaggerate the highlighted words. Genius without education is like silver in the mine. If a man empties his purse into his head, no man can take it away from him. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Let's read it again with more intent. Ready? Genius without education is like silver in the mine. If a man empties his purse into his head, no man can take it away from him. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Thank you to Lisa for preparing today's session, and thank you to all of you for practicing with me today. I will be back tomorrow. Have a great day.